Like the Writer, and welcome back to my channel. This is now the third time I've filmed this video because every time I've done it, it's ended up 40 minutes long and not correct. So this is the last time that I'm going to do it, and hopefully it's going to be under 20 minutes because I don't really want to edit a 40-minute video, like, no. As you can see from the title, I'm going to be taking part in the OWLS 2020. If you don't know, the OWLS is part of the Magical Readathon, which is a Harry Potter inspired readathon based on the exams that they take in the books and the films, I suppose. And so I'm in the UK. My school is now closed. I'm technically still at school, but I will not be going to school every day. I will just be logging on, basically. I also don't have any exams this year, I think. Instead, I've decided to replace those exams that I was supposed to be taking with these exams, which I wasn't going to be taking, but hey, I've got a lot of free time all of a sudden, so hey ho, why not? I'm not going to go too into detail. I'll leave a link in the description to the video that talks about this if you are interested. I think it's a lot of fun, so I definitely recommend. Last year, I actually tried for the journalist/writer route, which only required me to read 4 books, and because I was extra, I decided to read 6. And I managed to do it. So, you know, this year I have 4 weeks because I'm going to be doing it across the whole thing instead of just the 2 because I started late, and because I'm extra I decided to try and do all 12 prompts. So, really, I actually decided on Spellmaker. I have a handy dandy sheet here, if you were wondering, which requires Ancient Runes, Arithmancy, Astronomy, Charms, Divination, History of Magic, and Transfiguration. So that's quite a few to begin with. And then I also decided to do the Animagus training because I want to be a cat, like, why not? Which requires Arithmancy, Potions, and Transfiguration. So I've already had Arithmancy and Transfiguration, so I only need Potions extra. And then I also decided to do People Linguistics as like a thing that I want to do. So that requires Herbology. I haven't looked at the newts. I haven't calculated how many books I will need to read for the newts yet. I'm kind of afraid to, because I know it's a lot. I have to read 9 books in order to pass all of these things that I want to do, and I have 3 extras, so that's cool. So then I've got the books that I want to read on here. I've got them in a couple of different places, so I've got them physically. I've got the majority of them physically. I have 8 in physical, they're just there, which is why I'm pointing over there. Then I have 1 on Libby, got 3 on Kindle, so I will mention those when they come up. Now, let's just go right in. The first prompt that I will be fulfilling, and this one is one that I have to fulfill because this is Ancient Runes, which was required, I believe. I'm now doubting myself. Ancient Runes, yeah, it's required. And that is Heart Rune, heart on the cover or in the title. And this one I've decided to go for Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. It's nice and short so that it's not too much book, too much reading, too much book, not too much book. The next one is Arithmancy, and that is Magical Qualities of Number 2, Balance/Opposites. Read something outside your favourite genre. Now my favourite genre is fantasy, so I picked up The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, which is apparently historical fiction. I personally thought it was a fantasy, but I checked and it does say historical fiction. So we're going to assume that it's historical fiction with perhaps some fantastical elements? Not sure. Astronomy! Night classes. Read the majority of this book when it's dark outside. This one I did as one of the last prompts to fill because I just wanted to, like, you know, whatever books I had left over, I'd put that in there basically because it's quite an open one. This one is Supernova by Marissa Meyer. This one's on the Kindle. This one is here on this list because I read Renegades when that first came out. Then I read Arch Enemies 4 months early, 5 months, some months early because it was coming out in April over in the UK, and I was in America in November of 2018 and I got it really early, so that's cool. I didn't actually realise that Supernova had come out back in October, so it's been quite a while and I haven't read it, and so that's definitely on. It's literally the only book that I've bought for this. Every other book that I have on this list has either been borrowed from the library or I've already owned it. Then the next one is Care of Magical Creatures, Hippogriffs, creature with a beak on the cover. So this one isn't actually required, so it may not get finished, but I'm going to be reading Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I just haven't managed to get myself into it. I've had it for a while. I started reading it, you can see I'm like I got up to there and I just started struggling with it a little bit, but I do really want to finish it because, you know, I want to like it. It's such a big book, like everyone's read it kind of thing. Moving on. Charms, Lumos Maxima white cover. This one I do need, and I went for the Umbrella Academy Apocalypse Suite, which I believe is the first one. I can never quite remember. For those of you who don't know, MCR is my favourite band and they came back, so that's exciting. I'm supposed to be going to see them in June. That may not happen. Anyway, this is obviously quite a white cover. This is a comic. Don't know if you could tell that. Probably will be one of the first ones that I read, just to like get myself into swing of things. It'll be quite quick. I could probably finish this in like probably maybe 30 minutes or something. It's quite thick, so maybe 45, but it will depend how slow I read it. I like to take my time in comics a lot of the time. Defense Against the Dark Arts. This one is not necessary, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Grindelows, book set at the sea/coast. The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. This is actually my favourite book in this pile, just because I really love the size of it. Like, this is such a good size and it's a bit hefty as well. It's got like a good weight to it. It's like a light but not light, you know what I mean? I'm just really excited to read this one. I have already started it, you can't really tell, but I have. I got to there before I put it down. Ooh, almost lost my place. Had this one since Christmas. This one was a Christmas, I can remember that because I pointed it out in the shop several times to several different people and I went, and I got it and I was like, yeah, how did you guess? Oh my god. Divination. Third Eye. Assign numbers to your TBR and use a random number generator to pick your read. So the one that it picked for me was Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I've been wanting to read this one. I've heard about it a while ago. I didn't really know what it was about. I just wanted to read it because my favourite booktuber really liked it and I was like, I'll read it. And actually it sounds really interesting, so I'm excited to read it. Also, super floppy book. Love a good floppy book. Herbology. I can't say this. Mimbulus Mimbletonia. Title starts with an M. For this I'm going to be reading The Midnight Sea by Kat Ross. Yeah, so this one's a Kindle. Had it for like 3 years and I've never read it, and then I read the blurb and went, oh actually that sounds quite interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna read that. I'm actually quite looking forward to that one. Often I find that if I've got like a backlog on Kindle and I go back and I revisit them, I generally don't, I'm like not interested in the books anymore because I bought them so long ago, but this one I was still like, actually that sounds really good. History of Magic, another required one for the course. Witch Hunts, book featuring witches/wizards, and this is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. Thank you, editing me. You know, it's just not going to be a cover and I'm just going to be making weird hand gestures. That's what's going to happen. Someone once recommended it if you like Avatar The Last Airbender, and I've been super into that show recently. I'm a bit nervous because the description isn't something that I would usually pick up, and I'm hoping that I like it. The next one is Muggle Studies, book from the perspective of a Muggle contemporary, which I think all of these are technically contemporaries. The book that I chose for this is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. So The Gentleman's Guide, for those of you who don't know, is one of my all-time favourite books, to the point where I have literally done English coursework on it. This is the sequel to it, and I recently found out, as in like last night, that there is going to be a third book coming out in August following The Last Sibling, and I'm really excited about that. So I need to definitely get this one finished because I'd like to try and put the one that's coming out in August in my August notes, if I can get my hands on it before, like in time. So really, why is just someone hoovering like outside? Why are all the noise happening when I am filming? Oh no, you stop. Potions, Shrinking Solution, book under 150 pages. I'm sorry if you can still hear that. I've closed my windows, that's as good as you can get. But I gave up on finding a book that was under 150 pages. I just went, hell no, not happening. Most of my books are like 400 pages plus. I'm not gonna find 150, so I just said, whatever, I'm gonna read this. This one is 112 pages. This one I was really excited about because it follows Doc Ock as Peter Parker, like in his body. It follows him and what he gets up to, and he turns into quite a morally grey Spider-Man. But by the end, the reason I actually wanted to pick this up, because I was like, oh, I don't really want to watch my favourite superhero being like not great. By the end, Doc Ock actually sacrifices himself to bring Peter back, because he recognises that he can't ever be Spider-Man. And I want to know how he goes from Doc Ock the villain to Doc Ock sacrificing himself in order to bring back the rightful Spider-Man. I just thought that was really interesting, so that's what this one's about. If you're interested, I highly recommend. I haven't read it yet, but I highly recommend anything related to Spider-Man. I have a bit of a thing. You can't tell, but there's a lot of Spider-Man merch behind you right now. That one is required for Animagus. The last one is Transfiguration Animagus Lecture book/series that includes shapeshifting. The one that I chose for this is an old favourite of mine, and that is Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. I think this is one of the few books that I have in every possible format, because I've got it digitally, I've got it physically obviously, and I've got it in audiobook, and it's one of my favourite audiobooks because it includes a full cast. And Philip Pullman actually has quite a nice reading voice, so I quite enjoy it. I've listened to the audiobook so many times and fallen asleep to it so many times that I now don't know how the story goes. So this is going to be me rereading this to actually understand what on earth is going on, because I have no clue. I've got such fragmented memories of this story now. And that is all of the books that I will be reading. This isn't obviously all of them, I'm missing 4, which is quite a few to miss. There you go, the books I will be reading. I will hopefully be posting some reading vlogs during April, but I cannot say for certain that that will happen because I'm a bit inconsistent like that. But I will definitely try because I've got nothing better to be doing. I should be posting a lot more regularly on my Instagram, so if you want to follow that, I will leave a link in the description. But it is also at Type the Writer, shameless plug. So I should be doing like some stories and stuff up on there if you're at all interested. You don't have to, I'm not forcing you, just if you wanna. So thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please hit that thumbs up button so I know. If you want to stick around, then there's the subscribe button right there, down somewhere over here. Don't know what platform you're watching on, but down. Just go down. You'll find it, I'm sure. I mean, you don't have to. It's not necessary. Again, I'm not going to force you. And if you are actually going to be taking part, leave a comment down below. I'd love to know what books you're reading and what you think of my selections. But that is all from me until next time, which may be 6 months, who knows. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.